On today's show, tons of recruiting news from the 4th of July weekend. We'll run through as many of them as we can, as Alabama, LSU, Auburn, Arkansas, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and more all picked up some big-time recruits. Also, more of our conversations from the Manning Passing Academy as I caught up with Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson, South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler, Mississippi State quarterback Will Rogers, and Ole Miss quarterback Luke Altmyer. Also, very brief sound bites from LSU's Myles Brennan and Alabama's Bryce Young. Locked on SEC starts right now.
Are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is happening, everybody? Welcome into Locked On SEC. It's great to have you guys along. We want to thank LinkedIn Jobs for being the official college football recruiting sponsor across the Locked On College Network. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnCollege. Terms and conditions apply. I'm Chris Gordy. Thank you guys for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On SEC is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube and at LockedOnSEC.com. We got tons of recruiting stuff to get into, so let's go around the conference.
Boots out to the right. Takes the handoff. What a catch!
Around the conference.
And we start with Alabama as Raquez McElderry, a 6'3", 340-pound offensive lineman out of the state of Alabama, committed to the Tide. He had 15 offers. He's ranked the number 25 interior offensive lineman, the number 22 player in the state of Alabama. So a big pickup for the Tide as they have been recruiting him for a while. He is commitment number 10 for Alabama in the class of 2023, and the second O-lineman joining Wilkin Formby, who just joined the Tide recently. Over at Auburn, Brian Harsin picked up a big-time commitment in wide receiver Carmelo English. He's a four-star wide receiver out of the state of Alabama, committed on Monday, 5'11", 175 pounds, had a ton of offers, rated the number 23 wide receiver in the class of 2023. He's number 13 player from the state of Alabama. He's the fourth commitment for Auburn for 2023, so they only got four names, but if you go by the Rivals rankings, all four guys are four-star recruits, so pretty good quality there for Harsin's group. Meanwhile, Sam Pittman and the Arkansas Razorbacks, they had a busy weekend. They first added Paris Patterson, a three-star offensive lineman from East St. Louis. He's the number 33 interior offensive lineman in the class of 2023. After landing Patterson, the Razorbacks added a commitment from 2023 four-star wide receiver Micah Tease from Oklahoma. So a nice pickup there for them. Tease is the number 11 athlete in the class of 2023, the number 4 overall recruit from the state of Oklahoma. That puts the Razorbacks at 20 players already in their class of 2023. You know, Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers, they were very, very busy over the weekend. Yesterday, they picked up a four-star recruit by the name of Deshaun Womack, a four-star edge rusher. He's the number 13 defensive lineman in the class of 2023, the number 2 overall recruit from the state of Maryland. They also added four-star D lineman Darren Reed. He is the number 34 D lineman in the class of 2023. They also added four-star edge rusher Joshua Mickens out of Indianapolis. He announced on Sunday. He's the number 18 edge rusher, number 2 overall recruit from the state of Indiana. And just a couple days ago, blue chip edge rusher Jackson Howard committed to LSU over the likes of Miami and Michigan. He is a four-star number 11 edge rusher, class of 2023. Lastly, the Tigers added a DB from Metairie, Louisiana in Ashton Stamps. He was a 3-star. So the Tigers quickly didn't have a lot of names in this class. They quickly have 11 guys now. And that class ranks number 22 in the country, according to 24/7 Sports. Meanwhile, Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs, they got another big-time pickup a couple days ago in 4-star cornerback Daniel Harris. He's from the Miami area. He's listed at 6'2", 175 pounds, rated 4 stars, the number 19 corner in this class, number 31 Florida recruit in 2023. Shane Beamer and the South Carolina Gamecocks, they have been busy on Monday afternoon. They picked up 4-star linebacker Jaden Robinson out of the state of Florida. He's the number 33 linebacker in the class of 2023, the number 72 overall recruit from the state of Florida. Also over the weekend, South Carolina landed its future quarterback in 4-star passer Dante Reno. He's the number 18 quarterback in the class of 2024. One other one that they picked up over the weekend, running back DJ Braswell on Saturday afternoon. He committed to South Carolina. Now, the interesting thing with him, he had named a top 4 last week of Alabama, Nebraska, Oregon, and Boston College. And then out of nowhere, committed to South Carolina. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, a 4-star recruit, the number 15 running back in the class of 2023, which currently ranks around 27. Mark Stoops and the Kentucky Wildcats, they picked up their recruiting a little bit. They got a 3-star running back by the name of Khalifa Keith out of the state of Alabama. He's the number 89 running back in the class of 2023. That gives the Wildcats 8 players in this class. I saw some Kentucky fans a little critical asking, hey, where's our NIL deals? Can we get that going? As Mitch Barnhart, the athletic director there, has been a little bit reluctant to enter the world of NIL, but we will see what happens there. Over at Florida, Billy Napier and company, they added a 4-star defensive lineman from the state of Georgia, and TJ Searcy. He is a 6'5", 250-pounder, had 14 offers, committed to Florida. He's the number 14 player from the state of Georgia, the number 20 defensive lineman in the class of 2023. Eli Drinkwitz, they've been a little slow to hit the recruiting trail, but they added a 3-star running back over the weekend out of St. Louis by the name of Jamal Roberts. He announced his commitment on Sunday afternoon, the number 64 running back in the class of 2023, giving the Tigers 7 players in their 2023 class. Josh Heupel over at Tennessee picked up 3-star cornerback Christian Conyer out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Listed 6'1.5", 170 pounds, the number 4 recruit in the state of Kentucky, the number 56 corner in the class of 2023. Committed to the Vols over Kentucky, as both schools hosted him twice within the last couple of weeks before he settled on the Vols. He's the Vols' 14th commitment for the class of 2023. Vols did also pick up a big-time commit for the 2024 class, Jonathan Eccles, 5-star corner, or rather a 5-star athlete. He committed over the weekend to the Vols. Still a long way to go on him, but the number 4 athlete in the class of 2024, number 9 overall recruit from the state of Florida. Speaking of Florida, back to them real quick. They did have some news on Mordecai McDaniel, former 4-star recruit from the 2020 class. He has entered his name into the transfer portal. Spent 2 seasons with the Gators before his transfer. He appeared in 23 games the last 2 seasons, including all 13 games at safety and on special teams last year. And a quick SEC baseball note. Arkansas baseball, man, they are adding transfers. I think I've counted up to 12 so far this offseason, but over the weekend they picked up 3 more of that 12. They had 9, added 3 more to that group. And College of Central Florida infielder Caleb Cali, Nebraska pitcher Cody Frank, and Kansas outfielder Tavian Josenberger. So some big-time talent going over there to Arkansas. And there you have it. That is the latest news going on around the conference. Thank you guys for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. And up next, we'll get you caught up with a couple of our conversations with some of the SEC quarterbacks at the Manning Passing Academy, including Anthony Richardson and Spencer Rattler. That is coming your way next. Do want to remind you about our friends over at LinkedIn. As the sun comes out and small businesses are getting back to business, LinkedIn Jobs makes it easier for you to grow your team. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the people you want to interview faster and for free. It's super easy to do. Just go to LinkedIn, create a free job post in minutes on their job section, and reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. It is why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number 1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. Go post your job right now for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. You will post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. But get started finding the right candidates out there to get your business going and growing even better. LinkedIn.com/lockedoncollege. Rolling along here, Locked On SEC, and it was a lot of fun getting out to the Manning Passing Academy over in Louisiana just a little over a week ago, and you already heard maybe some of our great interviews we had last week with Will Levis and Hendon Hooker. So today we bring you several more SEC quarterbacks, and today we're going to start with Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson. Richardson had an interesting 2021 season as he spent much of the year backing up starter Emory Jones, who has since transferred to Arizona State this offseason. Richardson threw for over 500 yards with 6 passing touchdowns in his limited action, but really made his presence felt as a runner, rushing 51 times for over 400 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Richardson's best game came at LSU, where he came in for the struggling Jones and accounted for 4 total touchdowns on the day. Richardson did deal with his share of injuries. He had a knee procedure back in December, but he says he is ready to go. He has all the talent in the world, and if things click right for the Gators this season, Anthony Richardson in Florida can surprise some people. Here was our conversation with Florida quarterback Anthony
Catching up here with Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson. I saw you out there, man, acting like a coach today. You have a little sympathy for your coaches now, knowing what they go through?
Oh yeah, definitely. They have a tough job for sure. I wasn't doing anything close to what they're doing, but it's kind of rough trying to keep everybody in check. I just had like 12 people, so I can just imagine how it is with 120 people.
It was funny. I heard you at one point. You're like, "Are y'all my group next?" I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, just everything's moving too fast. You're trying to keep it in control.
All right, let's talk a little bit on the offseason. First off, how's the knee? How are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. My knee is the least of my worries. I feel like I'm 100% on my knee. There's other things I can perfect, such as my hamstrings. Just trying to make sure that's out of the way for this season.
Building off of last season, obviously you got a good bit of playing experience. You dealt with the injury and all that, but look, Emory had a tough decision to make. Was he going to stay? Was he going to come back? And all that. He's gone. Feels like it's your job to earn now. What is it? You have a little bit more confidence in yourself, kind of saying, "All right, this is my year. It's my time."
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot more confidence now, especially after talking to Coach Napier. I had a meeting with him, and he told me I have to be confident in myself because I'm a good player. So I just have to see that in myself and just believe that I'm a great player. So also seeing that I could be the one to start off the season, that just builds up more confidence. Just seeing like how I can control the future of our season. So
going through the spring with the new coaching staff, what do you like most about Coach Napier?
Honestly, how structured everything is. Like everything is so detailed. There's always a plan in place for anything that we do. Everything correlates to something else. So that's pretty much the most impressive thing to me.
All the different weapons you guys have at wide receiver. I go through the list and I'm like, man, there's a lot of talent here. It almost feels like you guys are a little bit under the radar in that aspect. Like, hey, Florida, there's talent all over that offense.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We just got to find a way to get everybody the ball, get everybody a touch so we can have a great season.
What did you make of the speed of the SEC and all that last year? Obviously, your running ability, is one of your biggest assets, but did you feel comfortable as the season went along?
Yeah, of course. I try to tell the younger QBs all the time that football is always going to be football. People just get stronger and faster and smarter. So, you just got to be confident in yourself and just make plays. Playing in the SEC, it's a great conference. Just being confident because I know the other team is going to be confident when they play, so just got to match the energy.
One more for you. What the atmosphere in Gainesville, what was it like? What's it like playing for that fan base? Because it can get rocking there.
Honestly, I love it. I always tell people there's a good and a bad to it. When you're playing good, they love you. When you're playing bad, they hate you. So it's just all part of life, teach you how to be a stronger person. And then playing in the swamp is crazy. When we play Alabama, that thing was so loud. I had the headset on. I couldn't even hear the play calls. So I love Gainesville.
The win over Florida State, though, that was the exclamation point kind of for you?
that kind of sealed it off for me, just to let me know that I can play college football and I can be a good quarterback in the SEC and in college. So that pretty much sealed the deal for me.
Anthony, thanks for the time, man.
Thank you.
Another guy expecting big things in 2022, but this time in a new home, is South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler. Rattler transfers in from Oklahoma, where he was on a loaded team last season with the Sooners, and many publications had him pegged as the Heisman Trophy favorite going into 2021. Rattler threw for 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, but inconsistent play led to him losing the starting job to Caleb Williams. Rattler was very productive in 2020, where he threw for 3,000 yards, 28 touchdowns that year. And that is the Rattler that Shane Beamer and company are hoping to get in Columbia. We caught up with Spencer Rattler at the Manning Passing Academy, talking a little bit about his offense.
Catching up with South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler. What was the spring like for you, man, making that transition and finding your way in a new home?
Yeah, I mean, this spring was great. Getting acclimated with a new system, new team, new coaches, everything. It was a blessing just getting somewhere new, getting somewhere fresh, and it's almost like a reset. So we're excited to play. We had a great spring. We're having a great summer so far.
Obviously, a lot of familiarity with Coach Beamer. Man, it just seems like a guy that everybody loves to play for. What's it been like getting back with him again?
Oh, no, it's great. Coach Beamer's got the program headed in the right way. Recruiting great. Got a lot of key transfers, a lot of top recruits, and obviously got a lot of great guys coming back. So our team's deep, and we're excited to play.
Saw you in the spring game. It did feel like a little bit. I mean, you mentioned it with all the transfers. That it's still kind of at the time. I guess you guys were still kind of getting acclimated with each other and kind of. Do you feel like y'all kind of got that accomplished in the spring?
Well, the spring we didn't have anybody really. Like we had a lot of our best guys out. So I only played with probably one starter in the spring game. So that's why it seemed like we weren't clicking as much as we should have. But, new team, new quarterback, new running backs, receivers. You're going to have to get through some stuff early in the spring, and, we're starting to clean it up now, so it's been good.
Last year at Oklahoma, a lot of preseason hype, Heisman, but all this talk. Do you kind of you're not out of the spotlight, but at least a little bit more under the radar. Do you kind of like that this year?
I kind of like it. It's kind of monkey off your back. You don't have as much hype on you, and that's what we want. We want to sneak up on people. We want to, prove ourselves. So, yeah.
What are you most excited about with this offense? How is it different? What are some of the things that you like?
I think just the pro-style type offense is going to elevate my game and everybody else around me to the next level mentally. Really just working on that. We got a lot of great players that can make plays. I just got to get it in their hands, and they'll take care of it. So, yeah.
What when you look at the schedule this year, is there anything that psychs you just kind of looking at him, or is it really just that week one, that's all you're looking at, and we'll go from there?
Week one, that's all we're looking at, and we'll go from there. Honestly, that's how it is. That's how it's got to be.
Let's talk about this week. What's it been like being out there with these campers and these kids? And, you're going to be a coach out there on the field.
This week's been great. Getting around everybody that's been here. People have been here for 20, 25, 26 years. So it's a real family-type feeling here. A lot of great college quarterbacks, a lot of high school kids, pro guys out here. So it's just great getting to meet everybody.
Do you have a little sympathy for your coaches now, or you realize what they go through?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No, it's hot out here, too. So, yeah.
Spencer, thanks for the time, man.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Spencer Rattler. When we return, we're going to hear from Mississippi State quarterback Will Rogers. That is coming your way next. First, I want to remind you about our friends at BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. You can find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including all Major League Baseball news and notes you need as we're near the All-Star game and all of that. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. Also, college football stuff being added as we speak throughout this summer as the season gets closer. And BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this year. BetOnline.net, the fastest and easiest way to check on all your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, golf, all of that stuff up there for you. Head on to their website today. You can do so on your mobile device. Learn all about the trends in action. It is BetOnline and is where the game starts. Going along here, Locked On SEC. Thank you guys again for making us your first listen every day. Continue our conversations. We caught up with a couple of the SEC quarterbacks at the Manning Passing Academy, and one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the SEC this year, heading into his third season in Starkville, is Will Rogers. The Mississippi native has run that Mike Leach offense very well ever since he took over for KJ Costello as a freshman. Will Rogers accounted for 4,700 passing yards last season. That was third in all of college football, behind only Heisman Trophy winner Bryce Young in the SEC, and he threw for 36 touchdowns to just 9 interceptions. He brings a ton of good quarterback play to the Bulldogs. Look, not going to lie, the schedule is brutal for Will Rogers and company this year. They got road trips to Arizona, LSU, Kentucky, Alabama, Ole Miss. But talking with him, Will Rogers sounds like he is up to the task. Here was our conversation with Mississippi State quarterback Will Rogers.
Catching up with Will Rogers. Will, what are you most excited about this year with this new look team and having some new offensive pieces to work with?
I'm just really excited just to get to work with the guys, just to face the challenges that we have. We play a very, very hard schedule, very, very tough schedule. So it's going to be a challenge. Every single week will be a challenge. Starting week 1 with Memphis, ending week 12 at Ole Miss. Every week in between then is going to be a hard game to win. No game will be given. As a team, as a unit, we just have to take everything one step at a time, one game at a time, 1 week at a time. Just really focus on going 1-0 every single week. That's it. Just try and go 1-0 every week.
What's your comfort level in the Mike Leach offense? 2 years in it, going into your third year. I mean, is it more and more comfortable the more you go along?
Absolutely. It's probably the most comfortable I've been in a really, really long time, probably since high school, but I'm very, very comfortable at where we're at right now, but I just have to continue to grow, continue to get better every single day.
You feel like, it's funny, all these guys, from Stetson to Bryce and Will Levis and all these quarterbacks, but it's like you go look at Will Rogers' stats and dude, all you do is produce. Do you feel like you're a little bit under the radar in that aspect?
Probably. I guess I fly a little lower on the radar than some of these guys. Rightfully so. Bryce Young is a tremendous football player. He's one of, if not the best player in the country. So Bryce Young, Will Levis, Spencer Rattler. All these guys here are tremendous football players. But at the end of the day, on any given Saturday, I'll line up my team against anybody's. So that's just who I am. That's just what I do. I put up good numbers or whatever, but, those numbers don't mean anything if you don't win. So I think that's my only job as a quarterback and as the leader of my team.
The transfer portal's changed a lot. You guys have added some more pieces since the spring, but what did you make of how the spring went for you guys?
The spring, I thought it was good. We definitely got better throughout the 15 practices. It was very good for us. We needed that. That's one thing that this offense needs is repetition and reps. So, the spring was very good for us.
Well, thanks for the time, man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again to Will Rogers. Ole Miss, they have a quarterback battle on their hands with former USC quarterback Jackson Dart coming in. But not to be outdone is Luke Altmyer, who learned a lot last year as a freshman under Lane Kiffin in that Ole Miss system. And he was thrown into action at the end of the year in the Sugar Bowl when Matt Corral went down with injury. Altmyer was a bit of a mixed bag. He completed 20 of 37 passes that night for 192 yards with a touchdown and 2 interceptions. The spring game also was a little bit of a mixed bag for Altmyer and his competition now in Dart. But Luke Altmyer, he still hopes that he can earn that starting job in Oxford. Here was our conversation with Luke Altmyer.
Up with Ole Miss quarterback Luke Altmyer. What was the spring like for you, man? I know you guys were busting it, working your hide off. What was the spring like for you?
It was amazing. My second spring at the college level. So much growth has occurred from a mental, physical, and emotional standpoint. With the quarterback competition and all of that, it's been really healthy and really great. And so much growth and so much competing has really occurred, and I feel really comfortable about where I stand. But I'm always reaching for new heights.
A transition in coaching staff, a lot of new coordinators in there, but are a lot of the wrinkles the same from the offense that Lane's kind of had there?
Yeah, we obviously know Kiffin has his own deal. He's going to run the show. He's going to make sure we're rolling. He's going to put up his numbers and going to produce. So a lot of what we do is his. And Charlie Weiss is obviously very familiar with him, being in FAU with them for a few years. So a lot of things have stayed the same, and we're just steadily rolling.
You never root for injuries, but they happen in the Sugar Bowl. Matt Corral gets hurt, you get in there. How important was that for you to kind of get in there, get some big-time experience and kind of get that under your belt?
Yeah, I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. Obviously we know the outcome, but seriously, I mean, so much growth, and I've learned so much from that experience, and it's great to have those reps too. I mean, and the adversity that comes with it, and you obviously feel for Matt, his injury and things like that. That sucked for him, but I had to step in, try to do my best, and I learned a lot from it, for sure.
Are you the type of guy that focuses on, when you look back at that film, do you focus on the bad? Do you look at the good? I mean, how do you balance it out when you go back and look at the film?
I think you can take, so much from every single clip, and, even being on the sidelines, you take from that too, probably even more. But as you come with reps and, what you watch, you become more comfortable in what you're doing, and, being around it more, because, throughout the year, you hadn't really played a whole lot of football, with live action going on. So it's good to get in there and kind of, I guess, get your feet wet, but kind of just get back into that groove. So the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. It's only up from there.
What was it like getting to know Jackson? Obviously, you're competing with him, but what was it like getting to know him and you guys kind of battling it out right now?
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. We all know he's a great player and a great competitor. Our relationship's very healthy. Like I said, he's a super cool dude, nice guy, very selfless, and he's a great teammate. And but there's obviously that competition and that kind of business mentality that goes with it. But I want nothing but the best for him, and I think he wants that for me as well.
Last thing, how do you build off of last year? I mean, you guys have a fantastic year, double-digit wins, but how do you build off of that?
Yeah, it's not easy, when you go and win the most wins in school history, but I'm very confident in what we got and the talent that we have, and it's about just putting it together. I think we were so good last year because of the bond and the relationships that everybody had with each other. So I think if we can get there, the sky's the limit, seriously.
Luke, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Obviously, at the Manning Passing Academy, there's not a lot of time to catch up with everybody. So two other guys we spoke just very, very briefly with, wanted to pass this along to you guys. One of the great stories that could be in college football this season is Myles Brennan at LSU. If he wins the starting job under new head coach Brian Kelly, he brings a ton of experience coming into his 6th season in Baton Rouge. Brennan sat behind Joe Burrow several years back, earned the starting job in 2020, but only played a few games before getting hurt for the year and then getting injured again last year, missing all of 2021. As a starter in 2020, he threw for over 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns in 3 games played. Very productive. We caught up very briefly with Myles Brennan. Myles, just real quick, a little bit on just the road you've been on, man, 6 years, and here an opportunity to go and get it done.
It's not everybody's roads are the same. You wish for a flat road from point A to point B, and mine just had some turns in it and a lot of adversity, but that's nothing new to me, and I bring it on. Like I've faced so much adversity, I've persevered, I've pushed through. Nothing will and nothing can stop me. It's like, at this point, what's another quarterback competition? I've been through 5. Like, come on. If I wanted this to happen to anybody, I want it to be me, because I know what I'm capable of.
Thanks again to Myles Brennan. One more very brief conversation, this one with the Heisman Trophy winner, Bryce Young, as we caught up with him. He was asked about the goal, once again, trying to win a championship at Alabama, and just reflecting back on all he accomplished last season and winning the Heisman Trophy and the SEC.
To win a championship, especially that's our goal every year. That we don't shy away from it. That's our standard. It's definitely something cool to look back on, and probably be more fun to look back on down the line. But right now, in the moment, last year's season was a failure. So for me, for everyone, because we didn't win, and that's what our goal is. So that's what it is.
Right. All right, there you have it. Those are our conversations from the Manning Passing Academy, catching up with many of the SEC quarterbacks. If you missed our conversation with Kentucky quarterback Will Levis or Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker, you can find those on the podcast. either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Locked On SEC and you can find us there. Thank you guys so much for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Now go make your second listen. Check out some of our other great Locked On podcasts, including Locked On Ole Miss, Locked On LSU, Locked On Bama. We got you covered just about every school in the SEC. So go check those out if you haven't yet. And again, thank you guys for making us your first listen every day. Go check us out on YouTube if you haven't, and give us a subscribe there as we continue to build ahead of the start of next college football season. I'm Chris Gordy. Thank you guys so much for listening to Locked On SEC. We'll talk to you guys later this week.